What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video today. Today we're gonna talk about something that I had on my mind, so why not give it to the subscribers and the people that want to click the title. I mean, click the video and watch. We had the Kobe era where you had Duncan, you had Shaq, you had Kobe. Kobe was 28, 29 years old, winning back-to-back championship. They was on ESPN saying Kobe chasing Jordan, Kobe chasing Jordan, Kobe chasing Jordan. And remember the commercials where they had LeBron versus Kobe in the finals. That's what everybody wanted to see. They even turned it into Muppets. But Kobe made it those two times and won in '09 and 2010 against the Magic and the Celtics. And LeBron did not get there those 2 years getting put out by the Magic and the Celtics. So he was never able to see the two best, arguably the two best players in the league at that time, go head to head for a title. Especially because Cleveland was a 60-win team back to back those seasons, and they didn't even get to the finals. Um, then you go back in a couple years ago. LeBron gets 4 MVPs more than Kobe. Obviously, Kobe got more defensive awards than LeBron. Nobody really brings up Kobe being the elite defender and the All NBA defensive 12 years, which is difficult to do, especially over a span of 15 years when you're coming out of high school, playing a lot of basketball early on and getting deep into the playoffs. Obviously, LeBron done broke a lot of longevity records because he came out in the league and averaged 20 his rookie year and never averaged less than 20 his whole entire career. Plus, he made the playoffs so many times and went deep in the playoffs so many times. You only can. That's greatness to be consistently going to the finals 8 times, possibly this year, and to do it as long as he has done it in a 15 years career. That's not even half the time he's been in the league. He only been in the league for 15, and 8 of those times he already made it to the finals. If this year it come true, which I did pick the Celtics to win over the Cavaliers, and it looks good so far. But one thing I would say is looking at how the NBA is shaping out, and I'm listening to a lot of pundits. Everybody's saying LeBron is so great, he's the second best player, but they were doing the same thing with Kobe. But Kobe obviously never got back to the championship after 2010, losing to Dallas, losing to OKC, and never even coming close to the final since he was entering that conversation, and people start comparing both of those guys, Michael and Kobe, and he fell out of that conversation after he lost to OKC and Dallas, and then after that they made the playoffs, but he got injured in that Toronto game when he got hit with a dirty play towards Achilles. Also, he never made the playoffs after that season when they had Dwight, Steve Nash, and Paul Gasol. They never was able to beat LeBron. So they enter LeBron James. He's the next best. He's the best player in the world, not to me, but to universally acclaimed. Everybody feel like LeBron James is the best player. He's been the modern. He's been an example of consistency, not having major injuries, staying healthy. We witnessing greatness, his ability to get to the rim pass. Now he's starting to even get to shooting in the fadeaways in the 3-point shot, even though it has been a little rocky now in the playoffs. And we're seeing how great he is. People picked him to lose against the Pacers. I picked him to beat the Pacers. People thought he was going to lose to the Raptors. I didn't believe it. They swept the Raptors. I picked him to beat the Raptors. Only time I picked against him this year was when he played against the Celtics. And other than that, he has been averaging 30. He struggled a couple game ones, but he's been averaging over 30 to 40 points in these series when he needs to do it. When they back against the wall, he has answered and helped this team get this far. And they one series away from going back to the finals. And that's more legacy for him because you just want a chance to win a championship, and that's what you want is just a chance. And if he gets to the finals, you never know what's gonna happen. Even though even the pundits, even the Nick Wrights and the Shannon Sharp are picking the Warriors to win the title this year, and that's where I enter my favorite player besides Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, a guy that people are picking his team, not him, because the team is that great. His team to win. And if you watch the New Orleans series, you see the MVP of that series was, KD. They had no matchup, no defense to guard KD. And if you look at San Antonio, he didn't play his best basketball, but if you had to pick an MVP in that series, you would probably pick KD. And going into this finals, Steph had a good game, but the best player on that team today was KD, and he's going to continue to get 30 because that's what he does, and he already got 4 scoring champions, so you already know he's one of the best scorers in the world. But I think that this year, since the injuries and since the Rockets and the Phillies and the Torontos and the Cleveland having trades and injuries and Isaiah Thomas coming back, everybody been talking about everybody but the Warriors. But the Warriors done got this far, and now everybody's starting to talk about them again. But nobody really was talking about KD. He got injured. He missed a couple games in the season. Um, people didn't pick them to destroy the Spurs, but nobody really cared about KD. I told you guys the reason why the Pelicans was going to lose was because of KD, because who they going to put on Drew Holiday. And I broke that down on how that was going to work. And the reason why they won, because they had no answer for KD. And then Steph came back and made it even harder for them to guard. But those games that they won, remember, they blew out the Pelicans in game one, and KD had his way in that fourth quarter. And then they beat them again, and then they end up losing to the Pelicans and then went on to win that series. But if you go back and look at the finals last year, and I know you can say he's on Golden State, he was on a 73-win team. When you look at that game three, what happened? KD made play after play, shot after shot on Tristan Thompson, made the pass to Klay Thompson, hit the three in LeBron's face and in his eyes for the seal of game three. Then he goes back to game five. What happened in these fourth quarters, guys? What happened in the fourth quarter? KD, LeBron, 1-on-1. LeBron and them trying to make a run to upset the Warriors. And who they get the ball to? Kevin Durant. They give him the ball in the post, and he's getting guarded by the best player in the world. What happened? Bucket. Come back. Bucket. Come back. Bucket. Layup. Three. And that was game after he hit that three. And that's what KD did to LeBron James. The best player in the world was guarding him with the championship on the line. This is a guy you have to stop. This is the stop that you have to get so you can come back and force a game six. Instead, KD gets the ball and make quick work of LeBron in the two pivotal games. They win game three, go up 3-0. Obviously, they lost game five. But they lost game four, come back game five, and Kevin Durant has the ball with a chance to win or lose a championship right then and there at home. And he goes in there and knocks down big baskets on LeBron James with the championship on the line. Averaged 30 plus points, 50% from the field, 47% from three. Not only that, he became the finals MVP. And I think something that we're going to see now, because remember, LeBron doesn't have more champions than Jordan. He doesn't have more MVPs. He's not even close to defensive first teams. He's not even close. He never even came close besides, I think, 2010 to winning Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan already got that. Jordan got significantly more scoring titles. I believe he has 10. So accolades-wise, LeBron only can get them based off stats and longevity because LeBron is in his 15th season, and it has been marvelous to watch him play this great, this dominant, this consistent over this long period of time with deep playoff runs. And on top of that, people don't remember this, but he plays in FIBA, he plays in the Olympics too after the NBA season and the deep run in the playoffs. So that is a lot of miles and stress on his body, and for him to stay healthy and continue to win and continue to dominate on this level with so much plan and physicality of playing basketball, you have to put him as one of the greatest players ever. But, Jordan has him beat on accolades. LeBron gonna have him beat on stats because he came in the league younger and he's been consistently going to the finals and took advantage of the East because he did join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Then he joined with Kyrie. Then they knew they was going to trade the pick for Kevin Love, and he formed another big three so they can be the team to beat in the East. And ever since he joined up with the Heat, he has been the team to beat in the East to get to the finals. Nobody been able to dethrone him, but he did have help joining up with the Heat and joining back up with Cleveland when they had Kyrie and had the number one pick to get Kevin Love. He joined other great players to win these championships and get these finals runs. The only time you can say he didn't was when he went to the finals after beating the Detroit Pistons and forced his way to the finals, but he got swept. Ever since then, he has played with other All-Stars, even though he did play with Mo Williams. in Cleveland, and he got Antoine Jameson that year, a stretch four at that time, but he wasn't at his prime anymore. He was a little older. Ever since then, after that time he did it against Detroit, he needed other stars to help him get there, to beat Boston, to beat the Indianas and the Chicago's, because they had multiple stars too on their teams. But he needed help. He got the help and been in the finals ever since. This year he still do technically, even though people did some have another All Star. Kevin Love was an All Star this year. Kevin Love had a good game one against the Celtics. Kevin Love averaged 20 and 10 against the Raptors. I know he sucked against the Pacers, but he had a great series against Toronto, averaging 20 and 10, and he had a good game one against the Boston Celtics. So you do have another All Star on his team. Whether you give him credit or not, that's up to you. But he is an All Star and he has been selected to the team. He won't be All NBA, I'll tell you that much. But it is what it is because he had injuries at the end of the season. And he didn't. His numbers started dropping when Isaiah Thomas came back, so that hurted his chance of getting at least a third team. Because I had LaMarcus Aldridge as one of my third teams, but Kevin Love I couldn't make room for him. I rather have Paul George on there too than Kevin Love. But enter Kevin Durant, a guy that showed out in the finals last year, a guy that has another opportunity if they beat the Rockets to win ring number two. Remember, LeBron has 3 championships. If Kevin Durant catches him and get Finals MVP, which we don't know because Steph and Clay, you never know what's gonna happen. It's all about matchups too. Um, but nobody in the world can guard KD anyway. But and we've seen LeBron do it. But the thing, the hardest thing about it is if Kevin Durant wins with this Warriors team and he gets Finals MVP number two, championship number two, he will start entering in that conversation with Jordan because that's what Kobe did. Even though he had five, they only really count two of them from the people, not the media pundits, but people from around. They said because Shaq was the Finals MVP, two he won on his own. He has been the more dominant scorer than Kobe. Kobe scored more points, but he was less efficient. He couldn't shoot the three. KD is a sniper from three. He's the better free throw shooter. They're around the same passing wise. Kobe is obviously not the better rebounder because Kevin Durant is a little longer, more taller. Kevin Durant doesn't have the All NBA defensive teams, but he do have more scoring titles than LeBron and Kobe, and he has one MVP like Kobe does too. And he can break longevity too, because this Warriors team look poised to make multiple runs in the playoffs and long runs. Not only that, if they do get to the finals, that makes his run even better because he's been in the playoffs damn near every season. Besides when he went down with the toe and Russell couldn't, they lost the tiebreaker to the Pelicans because that game winner by Anthony Davis and they didn't make the playoffs, so that ended their streak. But definitely, I think KD gonna enter the conversation if they win this year and he gets a champion in the Finals MVP against Boston or Cleveland if they beat the Rockets. Definitely enters the conversation next year. Um, if he wins another ring in MVP, which it doesn't look like. The only team that really looks like they can make moves is the Rockets. I talked about them adding Paul George, but would that be enough? I think they already a little competitive. They already got the threes. They got the guys. They just got to play hard for 48 minutes and execute for 48 minutes and not make that many mistakes. And that's tough to do against a great offensive and defensively team in Golden State. Plus, they got weapons. Kevin Durant will be 30. He's still in his prime. He has another 3 to 4 years of. He can last as long as he wants to, because his game is not really predicated on athleticism. He's more of a shooter. He can blow past you and finish. He can still do that if he uses brain. But if you watch these last couple of series, he's getting the ball in the post and just shooting over people. That's going to age well. He can knock down the pull-up three. He's always going to be taller than his guys unless, the league goes in a different direction. So the three ball is always going to be there. The pull-up is already going to be there because they can switch and give him a mismatch. He can shoot over you. So that's going to be there. The free throw shooting is going to be there. So he has a chance just like Kobe before he tore his rotator cuff and Achilles. He has a chance to be a 25-plus scorer, especially with this Golden State team simplifying and making his job a lot easier to score. They're not going to need him to force up bad shots unless injuries happen. Other than that, if this team stay together, they're going to be tough to beat because of their ability to age well, because of their jump shots, and the fact that they can always rotate people because people want to play for a team that can win a championship. And remember, Clay and Draymond, them they still got 3 to 4 or 5 years too, because they don't have to play as hard and do as much either, because how talented this team is. The workload is decreased because of the talent, and is increased by spreading out the wealth. But KD and Steph get the most touches. They're the two best players anyway, so they should. And I think Kevin Durant going to start climbing up those stats ladder. He scored 20,000 points. He scored 26 again, extending his streaks of averaging 20 points since his rookie year, which he did average 20 points his rookie year. And since then, he never averaged under 20. I think that's going to continue. His efficiency is going to be there. I can see it diminishing as he get older, because like even what you've seen with Carmelo, obviously Kevin Durant is a mismatch because he's taller and more lankier than Carmelo, but you start to see that you're more ground bound trying to shoot over people. But as long as he has that height advantage, he can always just out lengthen with arms and just smart basketball IQ of knowing when to jump and when to move and when to turn and when to go up for his shot. That's going to help him age well. The fact that he developed a jumper so early in his career, all he has to do is continue to perfect it. We even seen it with Jordan playing at age 34, having a good jump shot. His efficiency still was there, and he was able to still give you 30 points a game at a later age. And we're starting to see it with LeBron. LeBron still gets to the basket, still get layups and dunk, but you're starting to see in Toronto and Indiana that he's starting to fall in love a lot with that jump shot too. And it helped him age well, because I said in 2015, Iguodala and Draymond gave him a tough time getting to the basket, even though he had a better series these last two. Um, as he aged, you starting to see LeBron fall in love with the jumper too. And if LeBron can do it, Kevin Durant is a significantly better shooter from all across the court, and on top of that, free throw shooting. So if LeBron can do it, if they don't think KD is as good, Kevin Durant can do it too offensively. So we'll see what happens. I think Kevin Durant, if he wins championship number 2, going and people depend on what happens in free agency and trades and the deadline. If they have a chance to win the championship number 3, we can possibly see that Kevin Durant enter that conversation. People are already saying he's one of the best players ever. The more championships, the more MVPs from the finals, and you never know what he can do in the regular season. More All-Star, more 20,000, 21, 22, 23. All he can do now is increase and enhance his legacy with consistency and longevity. And I think that Kevin Durant has the body, he has the athleticism, he has the jumper to continue to put up stats. And remember, he's not 30 yet. Let's say that again. He's not 30 yet, and he has accomplished a lot of things already. And people already say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer and one of the best players and scorers in the history. So if that's how we feel about him now, just imagine if he gets more championships. Just imagine if he can continue to average 21, 22, 23 points a game for the next 7 years. And if he can do that, he's going to be around that 30,000. He's going to have multiple championships. If he win one this year, you already have multiple championships. And he's going to have more chances to increase his legacy to enter that conversation. But he has to beat LeBron. He did that last year. He has a chance. Everybody think that they're the favorite this year. And, it's going to be tough to construct a team that can beat this team. I feel like the only way this Warriors team is if they want to go their separate ways, if they start turning against each other, or if somebody wait for the perfect time and build a roster like Boston or Philly that can give them weaknesses or build to do the opposite. It's going to be tough to beat this Golden State team in a 7-game series. So let me know. Do you think Kevin Durant will never be in that conversation? Do you think he can get in that top 10? Do you think he can get where LeBron is right now? Do you think he can just join in the conversation? Like, nobody thought LeBron would be in there. He got better consistency, longevity, and now he's entering that conversation around the same time Kobe was. And Kevin Durant, he did everything in the world: MVP, All Star, scoring titles, FIBA MVP, gold medals, 20,000 points, scoring championships. He did everything besides the defensive side of the ball, and all he has to do now is enhance his legacy going forward. So I think he would definitely enter that Michael Jordan conversation. Do I think he eclipsed him? No, but I don't think that Kobe or LeBron will either. When you look at the real accolades besides the stats, you have to give him credit for playing early in their career and being able to dominate later in their career. But I think Kevin Durant has that up his sleeve too, and he will enter those conversations in about 2 to 3 years, which is about the same time LeBron is in it now. And he'll be 31, 32, 33 years old, and that's how old LeBron is. So if he can continue to win, if he can get three, he gonna have some type of arguments against LeBron. But people ain't thinking about it now because he hasn't hit that level. Check out my website, analysisprogram.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisprogram.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. And if you're a KD fan, hey, you ain't complaining either because KD is one of the best players we ever seen. Even his haters say that. And now it's time for him to enter that greatness conversation. And he's been doing it for over 10 years. And I think he got another 6 to 7 left.